Hey everyone, this is Bola Shokumbi. I'm the founder and CEO of Clever Girl Finance, and welcome to Clever Girl Finance TV. So in today's video, I'm going to go over some key challenges that may be affecting your ability to budget successfully, because sometimes it happens, but you may not recognize the reason why you're not doing so well with your budget. Before we get into this video, however, if you haven't stopped by clevergirlfinance.com, please do. We update our blog every single day, and we also have over 30 plus completely free courses to help you as you work on your financial wellness. And be sure to follow us on Instagram at clevergirlfinance, and don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to this channel and tell all your best girlfriends about Clever Girl Finance. Okay, let's get into these big budget challenges. So sticking to a budget can be hard, especially if you're facing challenges that impact your ability to budget successfully. However, budgeting is key to financial wellness. Budgeting helps you create a plan to pay off your debt, to save more, to invest more, and to ultimately be able to achieve your financial goals. So in this video, I'm going to highlight these big challenges and also give you tips as to how you can tackle them. So the first budgeting challenge is being indecisive about your finances. It's when you find difficulty to make financial decisions, even when it comes to things like making a debt payment, making a bill payment, or even transferring money to your savings account. And being indecisive about your finances can lead to procrastination, which in turn can lead to you not making any progress at all, and you absolutely don't want that. So if you find yourself being indecisive about making financial decisions or taking action on your finances, there are a number of things you can do. Start by creating a budget so you have a plan in place so that when it comes to making those bill payments, making those debt payments, transferring that money to savings, you already have that plan in place. You can also automate certain aspects of your finances so you don't have to overthink making those transfers or paying those bills. And if you're really struggling with indecisiveness, it's okay to seek help to talk through the things that may be causing you to be indecisive about your finances. Another budgeting challenge is shopping impulsively. And shopping impulsively is basically when you buy things without much thought, or when you buy things that you did not have a plan for in your budget. And this can be really impactful to your budget because it can derail your whole plan, especially when it comes to paying off your debt or saving more money. And we've all been there where we see that pair of shoes, that beauty item, that skincare, whatever it might be, and we buy it without thinking much about it. And we're like, yeah, it doesn't cost that much. But if we're doing this consistently over time, those small amounts can add up and it can make a big dent in your budget. And so it's important to be mindful about your impulsive shopping. And so the first thing you want to do is identify your triggers. What is causing you to shop impulsively? Is it boredom? Is it someone else? Is it places that you go to often? You want to be able to identify what these triggers are so you know how to tackle impulsive shopping. Another thing you can do is limit your trips to the mall or to the places that you shop often and minimize online shopping. One way to minimize online shopping is by deleting your credit cards that are stored in those online websites, account detail areas, because the fact that you don't have a credit card there to immediately click buy now will give you pause to think about, wait a minute, there's a reason why I took this credit card out of this account. I need to think about this item. Can I afford it? Is it in my budget? Do I need it? And etc. And when it comes to shopping, there's nothing wrong with buying things, and there's nothing wrong with being impulsive occasionally, right? It becomes a problem when you're doing it consistently all the time, every single time. And so one way to kind of help counter impulsive shopping is to give yourself an allowance. Give yourself breathing room in your budget to buy things that you want within a fixed amount of money. This way you don't feel guilty and you don't derail your goals. Another budgeting challenge is not using the right budgeting method. So the best kind of budget is the one that works for you and fits into your life. There are a ton of really good budgeting methods out there, and I encourage you to try them all if you haven't quite found a budgeting method that works for you. But a method that works for you is one that you check in with often, that you enjoy using, that's not complicated or overwhelming, and so you want to take your time. And it's okay to even create a hybrid of budgeting methods to create something that works for you. You may choose to budget with a spreadsheet, with an app, with pen and paper, or with a combination of all these different things. The key is that you want to create a budgeting method that works for you, that you will actually use. Another budgeting challenge is the fear of facing debt. Basically, you don't want to look at your debt. You have no idea what your interest rates are. You have no idea what your balances are or how interest is compounding. And the trouble with not facing your debt is that you have no idea how to prioritize what debt to pay off. And as a result, you're not able to create a debt repayment plan. And so sometimes ignorance is bliss, but in this instance, when it comes to debt, it is not. So you're going to need to give yourself that pep talk to face your debt. And this means logging to those accounts, calling up those creditors, and finding out how much you owe, as well as the interest rates associated to this debt. Having this information will help you create a debt payoff plan and help you prioritize your debt. And not just that, when you have that plan in place, you can build your payments into your budget and then start to find ways to apply extra payments to that debt so that you can pay off that debt as quickly as possible. Another budgeting challenge that many people face is eating out excessively. I mean, eating out is convenient, it's easy, restaurants are great, and it's very tempting, especially when it doesn't cost a lot of money, depending on where you're eating out or ordering in. However, eating out, when you add up all those orders over weeks, over months, it can actually come out to a pretty big deal. And this is money that you could have put towards your debt, towards your savings, towards your investments. And this is actually a budget category that many people struggle with every single month. And so one way to tackle this eating out is by meal planning. Create a plan for your meals that you want to make every single week. Plan them out in advance and give yourself room within your budget to accommodate eating out. So I'm not saying don't ever eat out again, but you want to make sure that it can fit into your budget and you have a plan for how much you're spending, and you're not just eating out and blowing your budget without really knowing how these yummy meals are impacting your budget overall. So when it comes to savings, this is another big budgeting challenge that many people face, and it is not making an accommodation to save money in your budget. So a lot of people will budget their expenses and they'll say, you know what, once I pay my expenses, I'll see if I have any money left over to save. And that's the wrong way to go about it. So you want to make sure that you're able to lay out your expenses against your income. And you want to take all of your expenses and build it into your budget. And your whole goal should be to make sure your expenses don't exceed your income, and also create a gap between your expenses and your income so that the money in that gap is the money that you can put towards saving. So you want to have a line item in your budget to save money, even if it's a small amount of money. And when you have that line item in your budget for savings, it gives you the opportunity to constantly look at your expenses and see if there are opportunities to save money or cut back. And it also motivates you to start thinking through what other ways you can bring in more money so you can save more money. It could be through a part-time job, it could be through a side hustle, it could be from selling things in your home that you own but no longer use or need. So by basically having this line item for savings in your budget, every time you see it, you start to think through ways to increase that savings amount. And so you definitely want to make sure that you're accommodating for savings in your budget. You want to save something no matter how small, because even if the dollars that you're saving are small right now, over time they add up, and it's about building that habit of consistently saving. If you cannot save when you have a little money, if you haven't built up that consistent habit, when you're earning a ton of money, when you have a ton of money coming in, you will not be consistent with your savings because you have not established that habit. Another budgeting challenge is not budgeting consistently, and the solution to this is to set a reminder to create your budget in advance of every single month, because no 2 months are the same, and also to set reminders to check in with your budget often. This will help you solve that issue of not budgeting consistently. Again, the whole idea of budgeting is you telling your money what to do. It's you being the boss of your money, and you have to stay on top of those hard-earned dollars so that you make sure that they're doing what you need them to do. Also, unexpected expenses can be a major budget challenge. And so one way to deal with unexpected expenses is to build an emergency fund or a rainy day fund. And basically this is money that will help you cover these unplanned expenses and help you navigate unplanned circumstances in your life. And so if you don't already have that backup emergency savings, start by building a line item in your budget for savings specifically towards emergencies, and open a designated account for this emergency savings. So every time you get paid or you get some money, you can put a portion of it in towards emergency savings. This way, when those unexpected expenses come up, you have money to pay for them and you don't have to leverage debt or credit cards, etc., and set yourself back with your financial goals. So when it comes to overcoming budgeting challenges, you have to first be able to identify them. So I hope this video highlighting some of the biggest budgeting challenges has been helpful. I would love to know what budgeting challenges you have faced or are currently facing and how you have tackled them or are currently tackling them. So leave a comment below. If you have enjoyed watching this video, please hit the like button, subscribe to this channel, and head on over to clevergirlfinance.com to check out our completely free courses. We have over 30 of them. And then stop by Instagram at Clever Girl Finance and follow us there. We have a ton of fun engaging on the topic of personal finance over there as well. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I will talk to you in my next video.